Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth season here with Partizan Belgrade in our Gravediggers series. We've had probably like the biggest ever transfer window relative to the size of the club that I think I've had here in my time of doing these FM videos. We had like something like a budget like 21 mil, which when you think previous seasons had been like a million tops, we've really shot up in the wage budget. We've gone about 450k wage budget, when at the time our average like wage spends per week were like 69k. So massive wage budget. We should today be finding out who we're going to play in the Champions League, and we've also got a league game where we're hoping to take ourselves back to the top of the table. Let's find out what's been going on. Yes, everyone, it's time for season 4 here at Partizan Belgrade. We played 8 league games. We're currently second, 1 point behind Chuchrichi Stancom. We are 5 points clear of Red Star, but they have got 2 games in hand due to them having to play, I think, like their Champions League knockout games, because with us winning the league, we automatically qualified for the league phase. The new Champions League format. What? Now you might think, Tom, you're an idiot. Why did you not realise that? I've obviously been banging on about trying to get the league coefficient up to 10th to help with the sort of Champions League-ness for qualifying. We dropped down to 11th, but if we go into, where would it be in? Maybe if we go into, is it in here? It was like the nation coefficient actually is what seemed to have the biggest impact on that. No, it wasn't the league. It was the nation ranking. Nation club coefficients. It was this, which actually, so this put us up into 10th after last season, I assume, with the Champions League sort of run that we had. And as a result, this is what has sent us into made the biggest impact on our Champions League progression. I just, for some reason, just assumed it was the league position, because obviously it's the teams from that league who then qualify for the Champions League. But then it has so the coefficient for that and the ranking for that is separate to this European League ranking coefficient. But yeah, hey ho, we'll take it. So what that means is that what I thought 2 seasons ago was this objective being ticked off is now actually ticked off. Within 7 years, we've got the league within the top 10 in the European coefficients, and the reason we're counting that rather than actually having the league as the top 10 is because this European Nations Club coefficient is the one which actually has the biggest impact. So obviously we've just got to stay there now. And what that has meant that basically, if we win the league, then we automatically go to the group stage. So obviously the aim is to try and build that rep up more and more, to the point where like the 2 of us will automatically qualify. Because then that way, that's just going to help, just basically the more teams that we can get competing in the Champions League, Red Star, Chuchrichi, Vojvodina, whoever, just the better it is just for the overall coefficient. So if we can just continue to build that, it'll just be massive. But don't worry, everyone. I did sell this episode based on the transfer window that we'd had. And so where better else to start than with the transfers. So we have to go back to last season to actually look at the start of our spending. Greg Taylor, we'd already touched on, was joining on a free from Celtic as our sort of main go-to left-back. Then we signed Gustav Bielka from IF Elfsborg for 1.6 mil, another centre-half. He's already sort of arguably cemented his place as our first choice right-sided centre-back. And he's basically displaced our previous number 1, Kelly and Van der Karp, because with the 2 of them combined, with Lager can't say his name, Lager Bielka, and this guy, Facundo Medina, who we signed from Spurs for, 3.8 mil, and they're paying a chunk of his wages. He is our left-sided centre-half. They are both very strong and are, like I said, keeping Van der Karp out of the team for now. You'll notice the big one, 10.25 mil for Adriano Onyegbuli. We signed him from Basel, and the reason why was basically we had a player who was playing at like the European, like under 20s World Cup, or like the under 20s tournament or under 21s tournament or whatever it was. I don't know why he keeps sending me back. And this guy came second with like 9 goals and 3 assists or something like that, 5 appearances. I was like, how did he come second when he was playing as a number 10? So we brought him in, and yeah, we're just going to try and continue to develop him really nicely, basically as our sort of new false 8 / number 10. But we do obviously have Milan Alexic, who's been playing there quite happily, and he's been doing really, really well too. Obviously, we have the limits in terms of who we can play in the league based on foreign players, but I'm hoping in like the Champions League, where we've got less restrictions, we can really bring some of these players in and get them to flourish. We've kind of taken the approach of sign whoever is quality enough that we can bring in to help us in the bigger tournaments like the Champions League, and I think the Cup as well, to be fair, because the Cup doesn't have as many restrictions as the league does. Just because there's a bit of a dearth of Serbian talent out there at the moment for us to sign who really elevates the squad, so that's why we've kind of gone for a slightly more foreign touch at the moment. Obviously, in a couple of seasons, we're going to be wanting to have that, or like that starting 11 with 6 homegrown club players in there, which we will, continue to look into and develop. And there are some players who are playing really well at Tele, I think, can go and make an impact alongside the players who are already doing so. Then we signed another right back, Victor Rogan, relatively young, from Čučevići Stankom, so not only does it strengthen us, it weakens them as well. He's basically a Serbian upgrade on Mihailovic, and arguably is slightly better than Zanotti, really. He's already kind of made it very difficult for me to actually pick Zanotti regularly. There was a bit of interest in Zanotti in the summer, but no one really came forward with a substantial bid for him. So he's stayed for now, but we may well look at letting him go at some point, and free up that sort of, that domestic foreign space. And we come forward, and as you can see, we spent even more money. So basically, I think we spent about 36 mil over this transfer window. Like I said, we had a large wage budget to play around with as well. So in terms of incomings, with Macetic going, that vacated a space for a quality inside forward on the right-hand side. And we went with FM22 wonder kid, and arguably FM23 wonder kid, someone who's really sort of pushed on, hopefully, for us anyway, in Rooney Bargi. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's just the way I kind of imagine it sounding. I don't know if it's Bardki or whatever. If someone knows, let me know. But yeah, we signed him. This was an instance of where my recruitment focus worked an absolute charm. I basically said, go and find me a ball-playing defender, and they came up with this guy, Madi Moname, from Bayer Leverkusen. He starts there. Everyone, if you're interested, he starts there at the start of any save. He's interested in a loan move, but not so interested in a transfer, because he wants to continue developing at Leverkusen, but you could probably loan him in with an option to buy. I think he starts 16, but he will probably be, hopefully you'll be able to do that he kind of soon as and get him in. So yeah, he's someone who I think could really be the future of our defence, to be honest with you. Yeah, he looks incredible. Esposito, we touched on, was coming in on a free, as was Tajon Buchanan. We've not actually seen Buchanan yet because he's been away on international duty. He might just be back now. We signed a backup keeper. I think we touched on him before, Irfan Egrabiayat. We signed him. And Luis Suarez, I think we touched on, joined on a free as well, and he's basically just a mentor. But we have brought him on a little bit, but he is now injured. Philip Johansson looks an unreal player. He was rotting in Juve's next-gen team, really. He wasn't really playing. He'd been signed from Kalmar. I'm yet to find out if he's like a new-gen player or starts in the game. I think he starts in the game, but I've just not been able to find him at Kalmar in another save when I've loaded the Swedish league. But I know someone else who's found him in their save. But he looks class. An absolute rapid advance forward at the age of 19 with really decent technicals and mentals, to be fair. So he's someone who I think could easily displace Peter Ratkov going forwards if we can, get everyone in the team. Marko Ilic we signed as a Serbian keeper. We'll touch on reasons why we signed a keeper in a minute once we get into outgoings. But part of the reason was that I wanted a Serbian keeper who basically it's just a free hit on the non-foreign players in the starting lineup, because when you've got a keeper, sometimes if your keeper's elite, you don't mind being foreign. But I always feel like if I can get a decent homegrown or national player for the league, it basically just gives me so much more flexibility when it comes to picking like the rest of the outfield 11, outfield 10. And then another guy who came up was Niksa Delabasic, a young 19-year-old Serbian forward who can play inside left or straight out on the as a number 9. Again, hopefully someone who offers a little bit more than Ratkov does in terms of dynamism and as an advanced forward. And he may well sort of take on more of a prominent role as the season goes on. Plus, he weakens Stankom as well. In terms of outgoing, so there's some that we already knew about. Sorensen was leaving. Fredrik Sorensen, 500k profit because we signed it for nothing. Vucic we let go on loan to Zeleznica, and he's playing quite a lot there. Most of it was loan signings, but Andrija Savic also left. We made a small profit on him. He's never going to have the quality to be a number one centre half. Dusan Dozlov has gone out on loan. Alexa Matic we allowed to leave. We made a small profit on him. We signed him last season and sold him pretty much straight away this season, which I was quite happy to do, really. He was basically blocking the development of the likes of Milan Alexic in that role. Not his fault, he just was. And we figured we had better options that could play in the other roles that he could do. Matej Stešević is out on loan in Division 1. Dusan Božňák, again, someone who's coming through the youth team who's not going to amount to much. Petkovic we let go on loan to Amiens in the French division. He's hopefully going to play at a high level there. I took Bato Komec, we let go because, again, he was never going to really be our number 1 defender, and he was just another foreign player. So we basically sold him for what we paid for him. This is the big one. You'll notice that I was saying about how I was going to touch on the keeper who left, and that is Daniel Naumov. Now, he had a release clause of around 1.5, 1.6 mil. Villa came in for him, only wanted to offer 1.5 mil, but he wanted the move, so I couldn't offer him a contract to try and at least get his release clause higher because he wanted to leave. So he left for 1.5 mil. So for the time we were thinking about promoting Gravediggers, but he had like that sort of doesn't enjoy big games, and I kind of wanted to try and get another keeper in anyway with Naumov leaving because Gravediggers was basically signed as a backup. So yeah, with Naumov going, that's why we went for Ilic, for essentially half the price. Other outgoings, you can see probably the main ones was this guy, Ivan Milosavljevic. We obviously signed him, I think was it last season? Yeah, we signed him last season, and I think he cost us 750k, and we sold him for 1.5 mil to Midtjylland. Basically, as we were sort of slowly building on the tactic last season, we obviously usually used to play this, and then we started pushing them up a little bit more to be a bit more attacking in some of the games where we were maybe struggling to break teams down. Milosavljevic couldn't play this role at all. He was good as a sort of number 8, but he could not play number 10, so he just wasn't as useful to us anymore. Especially when, if we want to play the false 8 role, other players like Alexic and who else we play there, Onyek Bule, and players like that basically were just so much more versatile and able to do that role as well, and then brought other things to the team. So that's why we sold him. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at in that regard. Matej Radonjic still wants to leave, which is really annoying, and he's kind of appreciated that I tried to keep him, but he doesn't want to go. Montpellier bid something like 350k for him, and I'm like, you're not going for that when you're worth, well, I've set his value to 1 mil. I think he's worth that easily. He says he's had too many unbroken promises. We touched on that last time out. Basically, he feels like his promises were that I didn't play him enough, but he started like 8 out of 10 games or something like that, and the one he one of the ones he didn't start was because he just played in the week and wasn't fully recovered. So yeah, is what it is. But we'll see if we can get him to stay. But I'm not very optimistic. So yeah, we have, as I expected, got our Champions League games, and I think they're a little bit kinder than what we had last season. There's only really, I would say, 3 teams that I think we will struggle to get a result out of, and that is City, Juve, and Milan. But I think Puskás, Sevilla, Besiktas, Leverkusen, Sporting, and that was it, isn't it? That's it. I think we could get something out of. Obviously, Sporting, we played in the Europa League 2 seasons ago, and we drew at home and then got smashed 4-0 away from home. But I think we're a much better team than we were back then, and I think there's teams here who we could certainly look to get results against, and I think we could definitely have a good shot at qualifying for the knockout playoff round. So yeah, that means we've now got our Champions League groups. So Champions League games. So that means after this episode, you've got Java Mattis. That's the game we're going to see today. I'll probably bring it back maybe for Sevilla away, because I think that's a game we could potentially do something in. We should really be beating Puskás. I like to think we'll get a result against Sevilla. It's away, but what's their squad like? They've got Gallardo in charge. They've still got Bono, as he's called. Nianzou. This might be a very tough game, actually. I still think we could maybe sneak a result. Renato Sanchez. Maybe not. But we'll still come back for it and we'll see. Man City, it's going to be hard. Juve, Besiktas, Leverkusen, Sporting, and Milan. Okay. As we're looking at this, we might as well touch on everything else that's been going on. So we started off the season with a really disappointing draw. I think we took the lead. Yeah, took the lead and then went 2-1 down, which was really frustrating. But we managed to save it through Rakov. And our only defeat so far has come away at Chuchi Stankom, who are currently top. We went 1-0 up and again losing. Really frustrating. I got a feeling we ended this game with... Did we end this game with 10 men due to injury? I'm not sure. But then since then, things have started to gel and we've really, really pushed on. Conceded 2 goals in 5 games, scoring, 18 goals in the process. It's not bad. I did also forget to mention that Sanisha Shanachanin came to me saying he was going to explore his options at the end of his contract. And there was a bit of interest in him, so I decided to offer him out. And he's currently considering 4 bids of 325k. So that's fine with me. I'm quite happy to sell him. He was counted technically as a domestic player, so we did have the flexibility with him that we could play him in the starting 11. And even though he's not Serbian, it wouldn't impact on that. Same with Belic, because he's switched his nationality to Belgian, but he still counts. But we decided to cash in on him. Zanotti has also literally just come to us saying he feels like he needs a new challenge. So we've offered him out, and Copenhagen have come in and hit his 2.5 mil release clause, which is fine with me. I'm quite happy with that. We signed him for 1.1 mil. He had a decent first season, and he's played a couple of times this season, and we're basically going to make more than double what we signed. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest with you. So after this, we've got an international break, so I'm going to try and finish it strong, really. And let me just check. We've got 4 foreign players in the starting lineup, so we're fine there. Yeah, Buchanan is now back from international duty, so he might make his debut. He can either play right back, right wing, left wing. We've got plenty of options with him. Belic had a really good game last time. I was going to stick with him over Stepanovic, and I think that's it. We'll hopefully get to see Onyebuli, and hopefully maybe Madi Moname today in the game against Java Mattis, because we've got options here on the bench that we can bring on. Uras Milutinovic is doing pretty well, to be fair to him, considering he's basically been sort of penned into this inside forward role when we signed him as a winger. So I'm quite happy with how he's doing. As you can see, our recent form, 5 wins is really good. And like I said, across those 5 games, he scored 18 goals. He conceded 2. Java Mattis, on the other hand, not doing so well. The newly promoted team last season had a really good sort of time of it in the top flight, finishing the top half, but struggling a little bit this season, kind of like Zelis Nietzsche did really. They had a really good start to their first season in after they got promoted, and then they dipped the second season, relegated. We need to see if the same happens to Java Matis. I'm kind of half expecting Ratkov to hit his sort of quota of the 20 goals for the season again, like he has done previously. He's already on 4 after like 8 games or something, so I'm expecting him to sort of pick a little bit as the season goes on and hit that target. But it might well be his last season here, especially if Delabasic, if we can get Esposito, Byron, and Johansson as well. It might be that striker role is kind of our designated foreign spots. I'm not expecting us to keep Rooney Bargi either long term. He is someone who we've signed very much with the realization that we will probably sell him at some point in the future for hopefully these 3 to 4 what we've signed him. Same with Greg Taylor. I'm expecting him to probably move on. Medina, Lagerbielke, I'm expecting teams in sort of Germany or Austria or whatever to sort of come in. But it was kind of a case of trying to build the overall quality of the team for now to sort of help in short term get the club in the league more exposure and hopefully help encourage the development of the nation through youth development. Hopefully, if you can improve the overall quality of the league, hopefully you'll then get more players coming. Hopefully it's all just going to fall in out. Yeah. Better youth intakes across the board. Oh, Ratkov's in after a bit of a mix-up from the defence, but you can't make the most of it. What a surprise. What a surprise, everyone. How many times have we said that before? What was that goal from Jovic? What was that? It seemed to like float in. It didn't even seem like it was particularly in the corner. It kind of looked like the keeper just was completely caught out by it. He was, wasn't he? What a finish. He's already on 7 goals for the season as Jovic. Basically, my plan is to rotate him with Dragan Stojcevic or Delabasic, really, to try and keep him fresh. He's definitely capable of playing pretty much a full season if he stays fit, but obviously there's going to be some times where it's just the strain is going to be a little bit too much and he's going to need a rest. And that's where we'll bring in the others. Lovely pass. Hit the bar and went over. If you are enjoying the episode so far, everyone, do us a favour, drop a like down below. Leave a comment, how do you rate our transfer business? What do you think about our Champions League prospects this season? Do you think oh, you have it. Beautiful. Do you think I'm kind of on the money with my predictions? Do you think Sevilla, Sporting, Leverkusen and that are all teams you can get results against? Or am I being a bit too over optimistic? You can sign myself to actually not getting through. Look at that outside of the finish from you. And if you're, 17 episodes in and you're not subscribed already? Why not? We're on 293 subscribers. So it'd be great if we could get to that 200. Yeah, really, really love it if we get to 200. At the end of the day, I want you to subscribe because you're enjoying it. But, you know, it's I don't want to get too bogged down by the numbers. As long as people are enjoying the episodes, that's all that matters. But yeah, if you're not subscribed already, it would give me a little bit of a... Oh, and Alexis makes it 3-0. Will give me a little bit of a good feeling. Yeah, 200. Alexis' other goal this season was a belter of a free kick, from what I remember. Again, keeper should really have done better. In the first half, we had 15 shots, 6 on target. They've had none. We did kind of smash our wage structure a little bit. Mirko Topic was subject of a bid from Gladbach. They hit his release. Jovic should have had his hat-trick. They hit his release clause of like 3.6 mil. But he wasn't that interested in making the move, so I thought, well, what will it take to keep him? Because he got like 10 goals from that midfield role last time. He was mainly played as the Segundo Volante. And he was happy to stay. But he wanted like 25 a week. And the board were actually willing to let me spend that on him. So, Bellish makes it fun. Screamers for days today, everyone. Screamers for days. And he accepted. It's a bit annoying though, because obviously we had Arda Güler in on. Are we thinking, yeah, you haven't talked about him, Tom? And the reason why we didn't sign him, we got Onyeg Bouli for less. He was basically our sort of second option. Arda Güler wanted like the same sort of wage as Topic, basically. You know, it ended up having, you know, Topic. This was kind of a good few weeks after we'd signed on. The board wouldn't let us spend the wages on him, even though we had it in the balance to spend. They capped the limit at what we could offer him at like 16k. Even with us shifting the budgets around, we still struggled to get enough money together for him. Yeah, they just wouldn't let us spend the money to sign him. I'm not sure if it's because they were trying to be sensible with the wage structure, which makes sense. But then they let me throw 25k a week at Topic. That's about as comfortable as the first half as I think I've seen. 4-0 up, no shots on target for them. Just shy of 20 shots for us. And after that last miss from Ratkov, where he was clean through and smashed it wide, I brought in Dela Basic at half. 73% possession. But yeah, that's what we've done. So we made that change because we've got nothing to lose really now. Or to make these sort of changes. We'll make some more as the half goes on to try and get some more players in. Dela Basic is in. Hopefully that was blocked. Broken's going to pick that up quite nicely. Lagabilka, Lexic. Jovic has got to get his hat-trick after that. Don't do anything stupid here, Taylor. Give away a penalty. I'm going to make some more changes. Hopefully allow us to bring some other people on. So Moname is going to come in for Bielka. Jokic is going to come in for Taylor. I think we're going to bring in Miladinov. 5. I want to go mad. Basically, I'm trying to take off as many foreign players as I can to bring in some others. You know what? We will bring on Johansson for Bob. We will bring in Onyeg for Alex. And we're going to make all 5 subs now. All remaining subs now, sorry. Great save from Milic. Lovely save. That's their first shot on target. Jovic. Terrible free kick, man. Terrible free kick. I mean, it's a nice, comfortable second half. Would have liked some more goals, though. Maybe the subs will see. It seems to happen so much in Football Manager, not just in this one, but through the years. You absolutely smash a team, and you can be 4, 5, 6-0 up at half. Second half, you don't add to that. I don't know if it's just because the other team just, basically go, we're not conceding anymore in this game, and they just literally just shut up shop. So damage limitation. But I just find, just stop being able to. Topic smashes the bar. Just don't seem to be able to score. That was a cynical tackle from Belic, but I kind of understand why he did it. But when he has a record of getting sent off in some games, a little bit. I want to make sure he stays on. I don't want him to be suspended. I want to have the option to use him in the next game or in the league game, because then we're going to follow that up with the Champions League. See, Jovic, get your hat trick. He does hopefully get his hat trick. Hopefully he's not offside. Yes, he's got his hat trick. Beautiful stuff. It's a great ball from Topic. So glad he's got his hat trick. He's had chances and he's missed them. Topic, look at the ball. Oh yeah, he was well on. Jovic, touch, volley, lovely. That's a great. Fantastic finish. Take that. 5-0. Lovely stuff. So, after us winning, we went top of the table, and then results went our way with Chuchevici drawing with 10-man bottom of the place in year, and Red Star scrapping a 2-all draw away to TSC. Hodgvarden won, but that's fine. They're still 1 point behind. As you can see, we're way out in front. So that does mean that even if Red Star now win their 2 games in hand, they still won't go up. It's beautiful. Right, everyone, I am going to leave it there. I will see you for the next Champions League game, which is likely to be the Sevilla one. Most likely to be the Sevilla one. I don't really envisage us doing much more in the way of transfer business. I'm quite happy with how the squad is. The only thing that's going to happen is players leaving, so Sanachan and Zanotti are likely to be out the door. Otherwise, that'll probably be it. I am now going to start recording the first rebuild of our FM23 cycle. Yeah, I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye for now.